Hi guys, welcome to the channel. This is Jimmy Arako from Music Theory and Instruments. This channel is basically extensively engaged in bringing your musical theories and your instrumental lessons to your doorstep. We explore the daily musical themes and also offer instrumental tutorials. If you are watching this video for the very first time, do not hesitate to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications so that you know when we upload a new video. Okay, today we'll be talking about the introduction to music. Really, this video is about the basic fundamentals to music. I titled this video as your first musical lessons. This is because as a musician, this is your basic knowledge and fundamental to your musical journey. So let's get started. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to cover the following basics. What is music? The elements of music. And as well, why do you need? What is music? This is a question every musician, instrumentalist or vocalist should answer first. You who is viewing this video, how do you define music? Well, the dictionary defines music as the vocal or instrumental sound, or both, combined in such a way to produce the beauty of form, harmony, melody, or the expressions of emotions. But I would say that music is far more bigger and greater than this. There are several schools of thought that define music in several ways. So that was why I'm asking you who is viewing this video, how do you define music? But for today, this is what you should note about music when defining or expressing it. Music is a collection of sounds. It's the process of putting sounds and tones together in an order to make a unified composition. We can say that music is a combination or compositions of the elements such as the rhythm, the harmony, the melody and other elements of music. There are two halves in music theory: how music is written down and how music is organized. Most people consider the organization first, though the organization is much more important than the written. However, they are both very necessary. We'll be dealing broadly on the organization of music in this lesson. But for now, know that we have two ways of putting music down. That is the software notations and the staff notations. Details of it will be given in the subsequent lessons. Back to the organization. Music will not look so sweet and emotional if we hadn't put them into structure, texture, beats. And this now will move us to the second subject of this lesson. Now the elements of music. Elements of music are several features and characters that make music organized and structured well. There are several themes that can be considered to be part of the elements of music. From my research and study, I found out that these 12 elements I'm going to outlist is a building block of music. They include pitch, key, melody, harmony, rhythm, the tempo, the duration, dynamics, rest, texture, timbre, and finally, the structure. Alright, let's know what they all mean. Alright, pitch. Pitch is a quality in music that helps us detect the highness or the lowness of a musical sound associated with musical melodies. Pitch can be determined only in sounds that have frequency that is clear enough and stable enough to distinguish from noise. Sound are produced by the regular vibration of the air or other mediums perceived by a high ear. Now, what is noise? Noise are irregular sounds, unwanted sounds that we don't need in music. The speed of this vibration produces what we know as the frequency. Now the high frequency produces the high pitch and low frequency produces the low pitch. The key, also known as the tonality. The key is a very important theme and element of music. Why? Because there is no music piece without a key. So what then is a key? The key is a grouping together of pitches into families. All the notes within a particular series of scale is grouped into a particular key. In music, we have 12 keys denoted with alphabet from A to G. These 12 keys are categorized, or let's say divided into 3 groups: the natural keys, the sharps, and the flats. This is a piano. I'm going to show you the keys in music, demonstrating it on the piano. Now we have the white keys and we have the series of black keys. We have a pair of 2 keys here and we have groups of 3, 2 and 3 on the piano. Now the white keys are what we know as the natural keys. Initially, the first keyboard was produced from A, but due to inconveniences in playing it, they have to reschedule it and program it into a key of C, starting from C. This is a C. C comes before the 2 black keys. This is C before the 2 black keys, and we have F to come before the 3 black keys. F before the 3 black keys. So this is key. Now, what I said, the white keys are the natural keys. Now let's start from A. Let me start from A to show you. We have the A here. A, B, C, D, E, F, A, D. This is what we know as a key. And now the sharps and the flats are what we know in the black keys. Now if you are moving to the right, we have what we know as sharp. If you are moving to the left, we have what we know as the flat. Now if this is C, this will be C sharp, E, D sharp. We have the E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, A sharp, B, and back to C. That is here. Now when we are coming to the left, we have what we know as a flat, and this is C, B, A flat. We have the A flat, G, G flat, F, D, E flat, B, D flat, and back to C. When we are talking about key, we need to know these other related terms. We have the scale, the chords, the notes, and the interval. Now what are notes? Notes are symbols that are used in denoting musical sounds. There are altogether 12 notes in music. We have the do, di, re, mi, fa, fi, sol, la, si, la, to, do. That are the 12 musical sounds we have. Now the scale. The scale is a set of musical sounds ordered by fundamental frequency or pitches. They can also be said to be a series of notes that is ordered sequentially. Now we have 7 main scales in music. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Then when you come back to do, that is an octave. We also have the chromatic scales that combine the 12 notes we've discussed earlier. It goes this way. We have in music. The next term is the interval. And the interval is the distance between one note and the other. The distance one note has with another is an interval. We could classify it into what we know as the semitone, also known as half step, or tone, also known as whole step, or an octave. Now a semitone is a distance the note has immediately after itself. If you are considering this C, we have C sharp. C sharp is a distance of semitone to C. And now we have the D. We are considering from C. The D is a tone from C. Or you can call it an whole step, and you can call this one an half step. Now to octave. Octave is a series of 12 notes which we start from C. Particular notes that octave starts, note this. When you start an octave with C, the note with C, you end with C again. That is an octave. Hence, the scale associated with 12 half steps is called a chromatic scale. Next element we'll be considering is a melody. The melody is an element of music that we often call a tune. Technically, melody is an element of music that comprises of series of notes and scales organized to form a pattern. Melody can be combined or formed with several scales. Example, we have the major scale, we have the minor scale. Let me show you the major scale on the piano. You can form melody from the major scale, that is, or the minor scale. Now, we have other scales too, but these are the two major scales, the two important scales as a beginner we should know when considering music. In popular music, the singer always sings the main melody, while the other performers accompany the singer with the accompaniment. The harmony is an element of music that arises when we mix together and combine pitches together. Now, the harmony is a process of combining pitches to form the chord. The common term in harmony is a chord. A chord is used to harmonize a melody. That is by forming an accompanying note to the melody. There are two categories in harmony. We have the consonants and the dissonants. And the consonants are those sounds that are smooth, the smooth harmonic combinations. And the dissonants are those harsh sounds, the harsh harmonic combinations. The rhythm is an element of time in music. Have you ever realized yourself tapping your foot to the music piece you love? What happens here is that you are simply keeping the beat or following the structural rhythmic pattern. Having known this, we conclude that the way we apply time to music describes the rhythm. The tempo of a music piece is a speed of the underlying beat in music. Just like a heartbeat, the tempo can also be described as the pulse of music. The tempo of a song is measured in beats per minute, abbreviated as BPM. And what is beat? Beat is the basic unit of time in music. When considering the tempo, two things should come into our mind: the beats and the meter. Now, having known what beat is, what is meter? Meter is the rhythmic pattern constituted by putting the beat into a regular bar or measures. And this process can be called the time signature or meter signature. In music, duration is the amount of time, how long or short a phrase, section, a note, or a composition lasts. It entails the length of time a note or tone is sounded. The notes we are talking about here are the whole note, the half beat note, the quarter note, the 8th note, the 16th note. If you divide it further, we also have the 32nd note and the 64th note. Dynamics is a music element that describes the relative loudness or quietness of a music piece or sound. We could define it also as the volume of sound in music. Dynamics can be applied to printed music notations, where we have terms like accents, the decrescendo and the crescendo. Now, the crescendo is a gradual increment in volume, while the decrescendo is a gradual decrement in volume. The concept of rest in music is very important. This term can also be called silence. Sometimes the most important aspect of human conversation is when they aren't saying anything. This also applies to music. There are times when music rests. There are times when we don't play anything. This is called rest. Now, this is most very important when we are talking about written notes, the staff notations. You see terms where their notes are not played. So they are considered as rest or silence in music. An element in music that defines how melodies are combined together. It's an element of music that tells how a melody or a music is thick or thin. We have three categories in texture. We have the monophonic, we have the homophonic, and we have the polyphonic. Now, the monophonic is a kind of a texture that defines a single note without an accompaniment. And we also have the homophonic, that defines melodies with an accompaniment. I also have the polyphonic that defines two or more melodies, independent melodies with accompaniment. Timba is a music element with a unique and distinctive sound that belongs to a particular musical instrument and helps the listener to distinguish it from other instruments. This is the quality that helps us know the different kinds of instruments that we are dealing with. This is a feature that helps us to distinguish between a flute and a clarinet. It also helps us to distinguish different instruments with their sounds and quality. This is the last element of music I'll be talking about, the structure. And the structure is an element of music that tells how music is organized, structured and ordered. It defines how a song is organized using a composition of different sections. A song, for instance, could be in a series of verses, choruses, stanzas, bridge, etc. This is structure. Hence, the way we structure and organize the melody, the harmony, the texture, and other elements of music apart from the structure is what we know as structure in music. Here's another food for thought. Why do you need music and why do you love music? Music, we know, stimulates us both physically, spiritually, and psychologically. It matches and manipulates our emotions and feelings. Studies have shown us that the ability for people to change their mindsets is the main reason why people listen to music. Studies also show that the neurotransmitter dopamine in our body makes us feel good and relaxed. It is also observed that the same is released when we listen to music. There are several genres, styles, and classes of music. We tend to stick to one of them. There are several and thousands of reasons why we love and need music. Check out yourself and discover your own reason today. Conclusively, we know that sound is caused by vibration. And the speed of this vibration produces what we know as frequency. The high frequency produces the high pitch and the low frequency produces the low pitch. These pitches are organized into equal seconds, into semitones and tones. Semitones divided into 12 steps makes the music note we know. The distance between two notes are what we know as the interval. Intervals are ordered into scale, and the difference in interval bring different scales. When we play different intervals at different satisfying scale, produces what we know as the melody. Play two or more melody at a time creates the harmony. The harmony creates the chords. The length at which we play the chords, the notes, and the piece of music is what we know as the duration. Notes playing at a different duration form what we know as the rhythm. The different notes on the different materials or instruments form the timbre. These notes on an instrument, either rough or smooth, create the texture. The speed at which you play these notes and chords is the tempo. And finally, when you organize your notes, your scales, your chords, your harmony, the melody, the texture, the rhythm into a structure, music is formed. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, drop it in the comment section. However, I have two questions for you guys. Firstly, how do you define music? And lastly, why do you need music? Why do you love music? Please share it in the comment section. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to receive your daily and weekly music lessons. See you in our next video.